Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest project you'll ever work on is you. But the truth is, you can't rebuild yourself with the same old blueprint that broke you down. If your life isn't where you want it to be, it's time to trace it back, not to your circumstances, not to your past, but to your habits. Weak habits are silent thieves. They rob you daily, not in piles, but in crumbs. A little procrastination here, a little excuse there, and before you know it, you're miles away from the person you were meant to be. If you want a new life, you must kill the old habits. Not babysit them, not make excuses for them, kill them. You see, every weak habit has a voice. It's okay to skip the gym today. You'll do it tomorrow. Just one more scroll, one more hour, one more episode. These aren't just distractions, they're dream killers. Let me ask you this. Do your daily habits build your future or break it? Because your habits are your architects. They lay every brick of your destiny. So if you're building a weak structure, check the hands laying the foundation. Chances are, they belong to habits you've allowed to linger too long. Now, rebuilding yourself doesn't require a miracle. It requires a decision. One decision. To stop watering the weeds and start planting seeds. Seeds of discipline. Seeds of purpose. Seeds of power. You don't need a new year. You don't need a sign. You just need to say enough. I'm done being a slave to my comfort zone. Comfort is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there. Kill the weak habit. The habit of sleeping through life. The habit of waiting. The habit of wishing instead of working. Because when you kill a weak habit, you create space for a strong one. Rebuilding starts with subtraction, not addition. So here's the challenge. Audit your life. Identify the weak habit. Write them down. Look them in the eye and say, "You've ruled my days long enough. No more. Your future is too valuable. Your dreams are too big, and your time too short." Don't just try to improve. Rebuild. Don't just get better. Get bolder. And remember, you were never meant to stay stuck. You were born to rise brick by brick, habit by habit, decision by decision. So go ahead, rebuild yourself by killing what's been killing you. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Weak habits whisper comfort. Strong habits shout progress. You can't climb while you're clinging to what's weighing you down. Every excuse you entertain delays the person you're becoming. Your future is shaped not by your goals, but by your daily routine. Stop negotiating with your weakness. Fire it. Comfort may feel good now, but it costs you later. Growth begins the moment you get brutally honest with your patterns. If you don't kill the habit will kill the dream. Rebuilding yourself is not about adding more. It's about removing less. Discipline is the bridge between who you are and who you want to be. Not talent, not luck, not good intentions. Discipline. That quiet force, that inner voice that says, do it anyway. When you're tired, do it anyway. When you're uninspired, do it anyway. Because where you are right now might not be where you want to be. But the only way to get there is to cross that bridge called discipline. You can dream all day. You can write goals on your wall. You can tell everyone your plan. But without discipline, it's all just talk. It's like buying seeds and never planting them. The bridge doesn't build itself. You have to lay every step brick by brick, day by day. Discipline is doing the thing you said you'd do, long after the feeling you said it in is gone. It's showing up when no one claps. It's sticking to your commitments when quitting would be easier, more comfortable, more popular. You don't have to be extreme. You just have to be consistent. A little discipline today, a little more tomorrow, and one day you look back and realize you've crossed the gap. You're no longer who you were. You've become who you decided to be. And that's the real reward. Weak habits are sneaky. They don't shout. They whisper. They whisper comfort. They whisper ease. Take it easy. You've done enough. You deserve a break. And before you know it, those little whispers become your daily script. You follow them without question, not realizing they're slowly steering you off course. Not in one big moment, but in tiny quiet ones that add up over time. Strong habits, though, they don't whisper. They speak with authority. They don't beg for attention. They demand growth. They get you up early when the bed feels like a trap. They keep you focused when distractions are dancing all around. Strong habits say, not now. We've got work to do. And with every day you follow them, they shout progress. Not to the world, but to you. The real difference is simple. Weak habits give you what you want now. Strong habits give you what you want most. Comfort is easy. Progress is earned. Weak habits feel good in the moment, but leave you empty later. Strong habits are tough in the moment, but reward you for a lifetime. So listen closely. What are your habits whispering to you? And more importantly, where are they leading you? You can't climb while you're clinging to what's weighing you down. That's not philosophy. That's gravity. Life works the same way. You can have the best intentions, the clearest goals, even the right tools. But if you're still holding on to the things that keep pulling you back, you're not going anywhere. It might be a habit, a mindset, a relationship, a comfort zone, and maybe it's familiar. Maybe it's been with you for years. But just because you've carried it this far doesn't mean it belongs in your future. You see, progress requires release. Letting go isn't weakness, it's wisdom. You ever seen a mountain climber carry their old furniture up the slope? Of course not. They travel light. Why? Because the climb is hard enough without extra weight. Some people say I want to grow. Then they go right back to the same routines, same excuses, same crowd. That's not growth. That's delay in disguise. If you want to go higher, you've got to drop what's holding you lower. You've got to loosen your grip on the very things that are anchoring you. Because freedom isn't just about going somewhere. It's about leaving something behind. And once you do, the climb gets clearer, the air gets lighter, and you finally start rising like you were always meant to. Every excuse you entertain delays the person you're becoming. Not denies, not destroys, but delays. And that's what makes excuses so dangerous. They're gentle thieves. They don't slam the door on your future. They just keep pushing it a little further down the road. One more day, one more try later, one more time when it's right. Excuses are comforting because they take the pressure off now, but they trade that comfort for regret later. And the thing about regret, it compounds. What you delay today becomes the weight you carry tomorrow. You tell yourself, I'm tired, I don't have time. I'll start next week. And every time you say it, the person you could have been takes a step back into the shadows. Not because you couldn't become them, but because you let something smaller stop you. Growth demands honesty. And excuses are lies we tell ourselves with just enough truth to make them believable. But deep down, you know when you're making a reason and when you're making a way. So catch yourself. Don't entertain the excuse. Don't let it get comfortable in your mind. Because every time you do, the clock ticks further away from the version of you that's waiting to be built. The future doesn't belong to the person who waits for perfect conditions. It belongs to the one who shows up anyway. Your future is shaped not by your goals, but by your daily routine. Goals are important. They give you direction, they ignite your vision, but they don't do the work. They don't wake you up early. They don't stop you from scrolling. They don't push you through when motivation disappears. What really shapes your future is what you do every single day, especially on the days you don't feel like it. That's where your life is quietly being built. Not in the big speeches or the grand plans, but in the small, consistent actions that either move you forward or keep you exactly where you are. You can set the biggest goal in the world, write it in bold letters, shout it to the sky, but if your daily routine doesn't match it, it's just a wish, a fantasy. Success doesn't show up suddenly. It creeps in quietly through disciplined mornings, focused afternoons, and intentional evenings. It hides in the things that seem too small to matter, repeated long enough to become powerful. Your routine is your pattern, and your pattern becomes your life. So ask yourself, not what do I want in the future, but what am I doing today that brings it closer? Because if you fix the routine, the goal takes care of itself. Stop negotiating with your weakness. Fire. Don't explain it. Don't excuse it. Don't dress it up with nice words like just having a rough day. Weakness loves to bargain. It says, take it easy, just this once. It offers you comfort in exchange for progress. And if you listen long enough, it starts to sound reasonable. But here's the truth. Weakness doesn't need more time. It needs a pink slip. You don't negotiate with something that's been holding you back. You remove it. You cut it off. You say thank you for the lessons, but your services are no longer needed. Because every time you try to make a deal with your weakness, you give it permission to stay. And it doesn't just stay quietly, it takes over. One missed workout turns into a week. One excuse at work becomes a pattern. One day of doubt builds into a mindset. Strength doesn't come from allowing weakness to hang around. It comes from making the hard call. From saying, I've had enough. You've cost me too much time, too much growth, too much of who I could have been. And once you fire your weakness, don't rehire. Don't invite it back when things get hard. Because hard is where growth happens. Hard is where you meet the stronger version of yourself. So next time weakness knocks on your door, don't answer with negotiation. Answer with action. And remember, you're not building a life of comfort, you're building a life of character. And that starts by firing what no longer belongs. Comfort may feel good now, but it costs you later. That's the trap. It always feels good now. The warm bed when the alarm rings. The skipped workout. The task pushed to tomorrow. It wraps you up like a blanket. Tells you you deserve this. And it's easy to believe. Because in that moment it's true. But comfort has a hidden price tag. And it doesn't show up today. It shows up later. Later when the goals are still untapped. When your energy is low, your confidence is shaken, and you wonder why you feel stuck. That's when the bill arrives. Not in dollars, but in lost time, missed opportunities, and a version of yourself that never got built. You see, comfort doesn't care about your potential. It only cares about your present feelings. And if you keep choosing it, day after day, it slowly turns into regret. And regret weighs far more than effort ever did. Growth, on the other hand, doesn't always feel good now, but it pays off forever. The early mornings, the discipline, the extra mile. They hurt in the moment, sure, but they build something. They build strength, resilience, and pride. So when you're faced with the choice, comfort now or progress later, remember this: comfort makes life easier today, but heavier tomorrow. And the price of comfort is always paid in the currency of your future. Choose wisely. Growth begins the moment you get brutally honest with your patterns. Not when you read another book. Not when you attend another seminar. Not when you set another goal. It starts when you pause, look in the mirror, and say, what am I really doing every day? Because it's easy to lie to ourselves with good intentions. I'm working on it, I'm getting there. I'll start fresh Monday. But intentions don't change your life. Patterns do, and patterns don't lie. They tell the truth about where your time goes, where your energy flows, and why your results are what they are. You can't fix what you refuse to face. And the longer you avoid the truth, the longer you delay your growth. Maybe the pattern is procrastination. Maybe it's comparison. Maybe it's distraction. Whatever it is, growth doesn't begin until you say, this right here, this is what's holding me back. And being honest doesn't mean being harsh. It means being clear. Clear about what's helping and what's hurting. Clear about what you say you want and what you're actually doing. Once you see the pattern, you can change the path. But until then, you're just walking in circles, calling it effort, calling it progress, but deep down, knowing something's off. So stop sugarcoating. Stop pretending. Dig into your habits, your routines, your choices. That's where the answers live. Because when you finally get real with yourself, that's when you get free. And freedom is the first step to becoming unstoppable. If you don't kill the habit will kill the dream. That's not just a catchy line, it's a hard truth. Because habits are silent builders or silent destroyers. They're working on something every day, whether you're paying attention or not. And if you've got a habit that doesn't serve your future, don't think it'll just sit quietly in the background. No, it's slowly tearing down the dream you say you want. Bad habits don't need your permission. They just need your repetition. Keep feeding them with your time, your excuses, your comfort, and they'll grow strong enough to bury your goals under years of almost and someday. That extra hour of sleep when you promised yourself an early start. That phone in your hand when you should be building something. That shortcut you keep taking, thinking no one's watching. It all adds up, not just in wasted time, but in wasted potential. Dreams are delicate. They need structure, discipline, effort, and weak habits don't provide that. They provide distraction, delay, and disappointment. So here's the deal. You either kill the habit or it kills the momentum. You either break it or it breaks the bridge to everything you're trying to become. You don't wait for the habit to go away on its own. You confront it. You say, you've had your time, but now I've got work to do. Because your dream is too valuable. Your future is too important. And the clock is moving whether you are or not. Choose to be the one who acts, not the one who reacts. And if it's between the habit and the dream, always choose the dream. Rebuilding yourself is not about adding more. It's about removing less. We often think that growth comes from accumulation. More skills, more knowledge, more things, more achievement. We set goals to add more to our lives, believing that the secret to success is piling it on. But in reality, the most powerful growth happens when we stop adding and start eliminating.